Hello, everyone. Good morning, and thanks for listening. So, I've seen and heard plenty of videos, and they're videos where some guys hate feminism. They hate women, or they hate Black feminism, or they hate women who are independent. They just hate females. And so I took the liberty of looking this word up again, once again, because there are a lot of attacks on social media towards males and females alike, and primarily females usually get it. And so the idea of feminism angers some people because what it says is that women want power. Women want to be empowered, and some men can't stand that. They don't like that a woman thinks for herself and does for herself and gets educated and has a mind to speak for herself and voice opinions. And I think that's a show of feminism. It's a show of strength and women's empowerment to think for herself, to be creative, and to step out on her own ideas and to speak out for herself. And just that alone is feminism. It's an exercise of feminism. For a woman to speak out and to voice her opinions and be heard, you are exercising empowerment or your womanist views. So a lot of times when they have these debates, they'll have men talking, or they have a room of men talking. Men have always had more rights than females in terms of power and voting and whatnot. And so it took a long time before women were able to even vote. And so I'm going to start with the misogynist. It's a person who dislikes and despises or is strongly prejudiced against women, a woman hater. And so there's more. It's also relating to or a characteristic of a misogynist. And so I took the liberty of looking it up because there are like a lot of videos where men cannot stand women who even think of getting involved in being empowered in any kind of way or speaking out, or even, a woman that has views on politics that's showing somewhat that a woman has, a mind to think for herself, and she some men to the point to where they hate it so bad that they don't want to see women succeed at all. So they're there to break her spirit. They don't want to see women succeed at all. So there's a timeline of voting rights in the US. And so if you even Google it, you can see the timeline of voting. It'll tell you when women had the right to vote. And Black women, I don't even think they had the right to vote for a while, for a long time. Um, there are a lot of hateful videos all over social media. There's this whole thing about feminism, and some men, like I told you, basically they'll show their emotions about how they hate the concept. Well, that's not killing a relationship. I saw a video where they said Black feminism is killing relationships. No, it's men who don't work, won't take care of their kids, beat up on females, talk dirty to females, treat women like they're prostitutes. That kills a relationship fast. Let me just be honest here. There are some people that don't hold themselves accountable for the things that they do in these relationships. There are some things that you can do to a woman that will cause her to not like you and not like people like you at all, ever again. So there are things like HIV, leaving women with kids and jetting out. Some men found it funny. This happened a lot in the 80s and 90s, getting women pregnant and then disappearing. A lot of this happened. And so there are some women that are single not by choice. Some of it was by not a choice of their own. And so they're with these kids, but the father didn't step up to the plate to be a father. and stay in the kids' lives. And so that woman was left raising her kids alone, not because she did anything wrong. It's because he wanted to go out and club and party and jump from one woman to the next. Because some men feel like it's a notch on their belt if they have many women or multiple women that they sleep with. And so I'm not saying this to make this an all out, because everybody always talks about men are being bashed and that the Me Too movement is too much, and that, you know, whenever women start voicing their opinions or speaking out on issues, things that have happened to them, somehow it has to be a problem. But we know that there are some bad women out there. There's some women that do things that are unfair. They are not serious in a relationship and they want to jump from one man to the next, or they're not telling the truth, or they lie, or they're not really serious about being in a monogamous relationship. But contrary to that, there are also males that have that same persona where they like to sleep around. They're not serious about being in a one on one relationship either. They like that machoism and that playboy mentality. And so you can have it both ways where people are like that. Some people are just not good in relationships and they're not holding themselves accountable for the character flaws that they have. So the weakest thing to turn to is blame it on a concept so that they can evade all the issues that they are not holding themselves accountable to, like they're not being real good parents, they're not involved in their child's lives. If they get hit with some kind of child support, they're angry. So they're angry at all women, like all women put child support on them, stuff like that. There are women that have to pay child support too. It's not just men. There are women that have to pay child support. There are women that leave a relationship and leave the man with kids, and they end up having to pay child support. So it isn't just the man, contrary to what these videos that are out here are on social media, that, oh, it's men paying child support. There are women that have to go to court and pay too. So it can go both ways. So people just are not being honest. They're not standing up and saying, I've effed up in relationships. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I make mistakes. Just be honest about the flaws that you have. Say that, I'm not, I can't be in a monogamous relationship. I'm not ready for that right now. And that's the reason why you have so many breakups, because some people, they have these high expectations. They have these Disneyland beliefs. I want to be with a trophy wife, but you ain't got no trophy money. So let's be realistic here. You know, you want this fantasy life, but you're working at McDonald's, or something like that. Some people have unrealistic expectations for stuff, and it isn't true, it isn't real. And so they get angry when something doesn't go well or they're not able to hold up on their end. Is that's what you signed up for. You wanted this trophy woman, and so she ate all your money. And now this is what you end up with, kibbles and bits. And so this is what you end up with. And so if you had a stuck with, that simple woman who's just looking for a dude that has a nice, decent head on his shoulders and holds down a job at least, you're not wanting that. So let's just be real here. There's some dudes, they want to pretend like they're, shot callers and ballers, but they ain't making no shot caller baller money. So let's just be real here. There's some females, that do stuff. They don't tell the truth. They're lying or they're cheating or they're doing stuff. Come on, there's a two-way street here. So misogyny kills a relationship, over controlling, overbearing egos, and all this unrealistic expectation in these relationships. That's what kills the relationship, really. That's what kills it. And then you can give stuff to people they got to live with for the rest of their freaking life. You can give them HIV. You can give them herpes. You can give them stuff. Kids, they're stuck with kids and they're not even with you no more, and you didn't want to be the father or you didn't want to be the mother. So there are situations like that and people are not being honest. Let's just call it like it really is. There are some people who had some really messed up relationships, some shitty relationships. So they get mad and they make these videos about how they hate feminine. That's not what killed the relation. You killed the relationship. That's what killed it. Just be honest here. You killed the relationship. That's the reason why the relationship is not working. And you have some people who always blame the other person. They never look in the mirror at themselves. You never hear what they did wrong. You always hear what the other people, everybody else did something wrong, not them. So watch that. So people do that a lot. And when you hear that, chances are it's them that killed the relationship. It's not these concepts and all that. That's a weak excuse out. See, they won't hold up on their end that it's them that kills the relationship. That's what kills the relationship, not feminism, not me too. It's you. That's who kills the relationship. So I just want to leave people with this because there's so many immature attitudes and people who aren't mature, they just never grow up. And so, if you want to know what women like, they like it when men hold down a job. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have a whole bunch of money. Unfortunately, you got some gold digger people out there, and there are men that are gold diggers. They are. So it ain't just females. So it's a two-way street, I believe. So, if you're shooting for all of that, that's you. But some people like it when they're just in a comfortable relationship with somebody that can hold down a job. He may not make a lot of money, but at least he's trying. There's some woman out there that's turned on by that, believe it or not. But some men, there's some of them, they want to be a baller and a shot caller, or they want to fake the funk. So let's just be real here. There's some unrealistic expectations that are floating around out there, especially with some of the younger people. And so they want something that's a fantasy versus reality. That's what it is. And that kills a relationship faster than anything. Over controlling egos and this misogynistic view that women should just not be seen unless the man says they should be seen, and they should never be heard. So, what's attractive about, a woman who's has no mind to speak for herself and has no sense of empowerment for herself? That should be an attractive attribute. If a woman has sense enough to speak for herself, she can talk for herself, she can verbalize for herself, she can help feed the family. There could be two incomes coming in. I don't see anything wrong with that. But what I do see something wrong with is when people are overly controlling, abusive, they're verbally abusive, physically abusive, and emotionally abusive. They give you so much grief that you have no soul and no spirit to rise from anything. And so they want to see you downtrodden. And so that's a reflection on you. If you want a woman that you're constantly beating on her and treating her bad and breaking her spirit, it's a reflection on you, buddy. And so you ain't gonna look good either because your spirit is broken. Your views of life is broken. So y'all don't look good together. So I don't find that attractive whatsoever because the two make the relationship. So if you want to bust up your woman and bust up her spirit, you're busted up. And so that's the way I look at it. That's my opinion. So I'm gonna leave this video with that. So yeah, there's misogyny, there's misandry as well, but hate this concept and hate that. They won't tell you about how they can't keep a job. They won't woman is keeping her quiet and having sex with her only and not doing right by her and treating her as a human being. They don't even see her as human. She's just like a expendable. She's like a toy on a shelf. They play with her and then put her back or throw her away when they get tired of her. And so they're not telling you that they have those mentalities. And that's more out there. That's supposed to be the cool thing. What you did in the 90s is not working in the 2000s. And so you're pissed off because you can't get a woman because you're getting old and washed up. And so what you did back in New Jack City days and kid and play days, those pickup lines don't work no more. And so you wasted all your whatever mojo playing around. And so now Father Time is caught up with you. Some guys think they'll never get old until it hits them. You're finna get old right now. As soon as it hits you, you will get old right now. And them young girls will let you know you ain't what you used to be. So stop fooling yourself. So stop fooling yourself. Just like women get old, men get old too. Beer guts, scratching your what, stuff like that. It happens to you too. Stuff that females go through changes, men go through changes. Trust me. Trust me, they do. So stop fooling yourself. Be realistic. If you got a woman that wants you because she likes, well, he holds down a job, he's clean, he's a good man. He may not have a lot of money, but at least he's comfortable. He talks nice, something like that. Those are simple things. Despite what people are saying out here, that can turn someone on. They find that attractive. They find that attractive. Not fancy cars. Yeah, some people do like that. But everybody ain't got it like that. Everybody doesn't have that. Maybe if she grows with you and then one day it becomes that way. But it's better to be in those type of relationships rather than so you got all this stuff, this material stuff. Soon as you lose it, you're gonna lose the female because that's what she wanted you for. If you want them kind of trophy females, and that's what you signed up for, then that's what you're going to get. And so when you don't have that stuff no more, and now you got these other women who now they've moved on with their life, they've gone to school and all this kind of stuff. The same stuff you did in the 90s doesn't work in 2016, 2020. That same pickup line doesn't work. So just be real here. Hold yourself accountable to the stuff that you don't do right. Don't just blame it on the concept of feminism because it might be more your problem rather than the concept. Moreover, so anyway, people are not honest about who they are. And so they make these videos bashing women. There's all this talk about bashing men. There's a lot of male bashers, but there's a lot of female bashers. A lot of female bashers. And this is what this is, misogynists. They are people who just dislike and despise, and they have strong prejudices against women. And there's so many of them, a mess load of them on social media. So that is BS. All these people making these videos, women did this and women did that, but they never say what they've done. So it's not real. It's not realistic. That's in my opinion. But anyway, thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for listening. And I don't care who doesn't like what I'm saying. It's the truth. People just don't tell the truth. They're not holding themselves accountable for the things they don't do right in these relationships. And that's where all this is coming from. That's what I believe. It has nothing to do with these concepts. It's just some people have been in some shitty relationships or they're just shitty people and they don't know how to keep a relationship. That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. And they've done some really rotten things to people and they won't hold themselves accountable to it. That's all it is. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for listening.